We are here in Stratton. We're with Jay Wyman, and he has many names, actually. Give us your full name.
Master of none. My real name's Earl L. Wyman Jr., but my nickname is Jay.
Well, we are with Jay, and we are looking at just a very historic and complete history of the area in postcards, calendars, and posters that you found. Tell us a little bit about this collection and how you got started doing it.
Well, I got started in doing it because my mom was born in Dead River. And I wanted my kids to know where their grandmother was from because in 1950 they flooded it, so there was no more Dead River. And that's one thing my mom always said, that the biggest regret she ever had was that she could never go back home. So I just wanted to start collecting and put something together for my kids and my grandkids so they'd know where she came from and what our history was. And it kind of evolved into the whole area for Stratton, Eustis, Carrabassett, Kingfield, some. I used to do some from Rangeley too, but I mean, one of my biggest inspirations, I guess, was like Tommy McDonald. He was a advocate at historic things in the town and stuff, and he kept abreast of it. He got me introduced to postcard and paper shows down in Portland, so we used to go down there, but there was nothing like talking to some of the older people that used to live in Flagstaff, Dead River, June and Forrest Parsons, Mary and Pete Henderson, and some of the older people. I just wish that when I was younger, I got more stories from them than I did, because it really proves true to the area. And I'm amazed at what I found. Doing this for over 45 years, I still find stuff today that I've never seen, and some stuff that I've never heard of. And it was just like those Jones Pond camps.
Yeah.
And it was pegged as view of Bigelow camps from Stratton, Maine, which they weren't. And Scott Stevens and I done a little investigating into it. And he's a good historian for the town too. Yeah. He works with the Historical Society, and of course Kenny Wing and his family were. Sure. But it's just trying to keep the area alive and what had happened. Back in 1944, the center of this town burnt, and they rebuilt it. Back in 1903, Eustis Village burnt pretty near all but a few houses, and they weren't even going to rebuild it. And some of the prominent businessmen in the area said, no, we're going to rebuild it. They took donations from different people, from different towns, helped out, and they rebuilt Eustis Village, which was kind of cool. But yeah, there's a lot of history that sits back, and you still don't know it all.
Right.
And I'm just amazed at where I find some of the stuff. I mean, I've bought cards from Arizona, California, Canada, Montreal, all over the place for this area, and it just intrigues me even more to keep going and looking for different stuff. So it's basically to compile a bunch of information so that my young family will know about the history of the area.
And that's the thing with digital photography now. You don't get like the name of the person written on the back of the card or anything like that, so you don't know. At all, it's hard to even begin. There's so much great stuff here, from celebrations, from the changes in the area, all the way down to Kingfield. What do you, out of all of these, what surprised you the most or intrigued you the most out of all of these collections?
Well, what really intrigues me the most is like, I worked at the rescue center. I was an EMT for 23 years. Never knew there used to be a veneer sawmill there that did lumber, plywood, and stuff. And I finally got pictures of that. It's just finding out different things that you never knew was there. I mean, you worked there, you was around the area, and nobody ever talked about it. Because then you think about it, most of the people were younger people, and they didn't know the history. And I find out new stuff all the time about the railroad, and the railroad, where it was, and what they were going to do with it. It's just, I guess, the thing that fascinates me is it's like it's never ending. It's like it just keeps coming little by little. And it's like I said, for 45 years, we've been collecting. For probably 15, 16, 17 years, it was rare that I saw anything that I haven't seen before. And now I find stuff every year, 2 or 3 things, I find something different. So it's pretty cool.
Did people, I find it hard to believe that people would send hey, I'm in Kingfield, and send a postcard, but a lot of them are postcards.
Yes, yeah, that's how I started out. Biggest thing was postcards. I mean, we go to these shows, I'd pay 25, 50 cents for a postcard, and that probably after about 15, 20 years, you get the real postcards, and they was up in the 20s and $25. I've seen postcards now on eBay that are fairly rare postcards. I've got a lot of them for 50, 55, 60 bucks. I mean, I just bought a set of 5 postcards for $54 of Jones Pond. and it was stuff I'd never seen before, so I kind of wanted to add it to my collection. I'm very hesitant in paying big money for some stuff, but some stuff is worth it, you know.
Now, I know that you occasionally share this. Do you go out and do shows, or do you have an exhibit that you do on occasion? How do people can people share in this vast collection?
Well, not really. I don't do any shows or anything. I have gone to the school and talked to school kids before about Flagstaff and Dead River and the history of it. I've done that and I enjoy that. And it's they look at you kind of like, oh, what do you mean by that, you know, and stuff. And I just got in an article that May 15th, 1950, they took the last telephones out of Dead River and Flagstaff. There was only like 2 or 3 houses left there, and the Stratton Telephone Telegraph Company pulled the last telephones out because they were going to flood it and taking their wires down and stuff. So no, but I share them on Facebook. I get a little bit of grief from some people because they don't think I should be sharing my pictures on Facebook and I belong to like the old Pictures of Forgotten Maine and those sites, and I did a series of Flagstaff pictures a while ago, and I was amazed. I think that the thing that amazed me the most is that on my set of pictures, I had over 1,500 likes and 600 comments, and probably 90% of the comments were people never realized the history of that area. They knew about the flooding of Flagstaff Lake and the Dead River and Flagstaff townships, but they thought Flagstaff and Dead River was just a small set of hunting camps or sporting camps or something. They didn't realize that it was a vibrant town with many homes and farms and businesses, and they just didn't know it. They didn't know anything about it. So it's given me pleasure to show them people those photos and get some feedback, because I've had people chime in that says, "Oh, my great grandfather was from Dead River," and then we get talking about different things and knowing that some of them are related to me and some of them related to her or them or whatever. So it's been really great getting the feedback, because I always ask people, you know, if you see something you know or I've heard about, please let me know, and you really get some nice feedback.
I know that you a pleasant surprise was some of your ancestors that you found pictures of. Your grandfather, correct? Or?
Yes. My grandfather used to carry a camera everywhere. He wasn't good in documenting his pictures, but he was good at taking them. But he was an engineer for H. Hinman, and he built a lot of the bridges down in the Portland area. So I've even got pictures of the bridges, like Tukey's Bridge and stuff, when they was rebuilding that bridge and putting in the pylons and stuff. But he also took a lot of pictures of Stratton, Eustis, Flagstaff, and Dead River, pictures of my ancestors and stuff that I didn't know about. And so it's been really, really informative.
Some of the tall timber posters people have graciously forwarded to you because they know you're just an enthusiast, and that one there has got a thank you note, right?
Yeah, it was a thank you note to my grandfather for letting them, from the Chamber of Commerce in Stratton Eustis, for letting them use his field, because he had a big farm and owned a little airport up above, and he let them use their fields for the wood chopping events and stuff. And so they had sent him a letter thanking him for that, and I found it the other day and stuck it in with that poster.
That Facebook that you belong to, you post things there occasionally. Can you tell us what the name of that is again?
I think it's Old Forgotten Pictures of Maine and History of Maine and stuff. I used to belong to a couple different ones, but that's probably the one that I do the most posting on.
Will you pass this collection on to family members?
Yeah, it'll go to my kids, whichever one wants it. My son's really interested in it too, and my daughter likes it, so we'll see.
Well, we really appreciate your time, and it's a great collection, and we really enjoyed taking a look at it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Like I said, it's hard to see everything, but there is a lot of stuff here, and I'll be putting more on as we go along, so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Teddy Target shop. Call the good and left her there to go and buy some beer. Celebrate the fact our bodies were unstopped.